What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Fix this fucking camera angle. About to get a little raw up in here today. I know you guys like it when I get raw and offensive and stuff, but we're going to talk a little bit about trainers that lie, that misrepresent themselves, that just flat out fucking lie. And this video is being made, I just talked to a buddy of mine. What's up, Bob? And this kind of stems back to a couple of years ago. There was a trainer in on a message board called Sioux Country, and he was the nastiest fucking motherfucker around. He acted like he was a fucking god. All he talked about was no cardio, tons of fucking carbs. His girls get in shape. It's so fucking easy. And he had all these girls following him and kissing his ass. And then my girlfriend Kari, who was part of this forum, had just got 4th at the Arnold, okay, in her class, and won the Lehigh championships in figure. Okay, that was our first year working together. Now, what we found for Kari was keto worked and a certain amount of cardio worked for her. I think it was 2 45-minute sessions a day to get her in shape like that. But she beat about 25, 30 girls in her class at the Arnold and then smoked everybody at the fucking Lehigh. Now, after, people share things on forums and stuff like that. And after she shared what she did, she got, people patting her on the back, good job. And this motherfucker chimed in and was like, you're fucking stupid. And I posted up a video about this before and took it down. We'll talk about that later. He said, you're fucking stupid for doing it. You did it all wrong. You're just fucking dumb. Like, he flat out called her dumb. And when she told me that, she was kind of offended. Like, who is this guy? Why does he call me dumb? And I was like, I never heard his fucking name in my life. And I've been around this fucking thing for 20 years in this industry. I don't know who the fuck this retard is. Well, as it turns out, he was just popular on a message board. That's how he made his name. That's how he got all his clients. Message board. He's not relevant in the fucking industry. If he walks to an expo, nobody knows who the fuck he is. If I said his names right now, not many people would know who the fuck he is. Only his little cronies know who the fuck he is, and the people he fucked up know who he is. He's in Canada, by the way. Anyways, so I joined this message board because I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Let me see what's going on here. And I go in there and I see all this shit and all these girls eating all these carbs and stuff, and I'm looking at them going, something's not right here. And second of all, who the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, I'm this guy. I don't care. First of all, you're being a douche for fucking talking to any girl like that. Matter of fact, this girl that you're talking to did better in all her competitions than your girls. So how the fuck, when she did better than you, can you tell her she did it wrong? Matter of fact, I think she did it right, and if you followed her advice, maybe your girls would do better. I kind of went off a little bit. I got the warning, and then I got fucking banned. I got banned from the fucking thing. I was no longer allowed to see it. And it was a big deal because they protected this guy. He gave the board money. He, drove traffic to the board. He basically helped the board out by having all his girls, be on there and interact and kiss asses, suck each other's pussies and shit. So, so time goes by, and the owner of Big Bitch Formula, his wife was working with the guy. Now, when my YouTube channel started to take off a little bit, this guy was still talking shit a little bit. So I put up a video. I was like, fuck you, and I blasted him. Pow, right? Well, this motherfucker who claims he doesn't really, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I can't be bothered, you can't be bothered fucking with me, calls the owner of Big Bitch and tells him flat out, you need to call your friend Jerry and have him take that video down. And if he doesn't, I'm not going to train your wife anymore. And I'm not going to recommend your products to my people anymore. And you're going to fucking go broke because we sell all your products. He was like, why don't you just call Jerry? He's like, I don't want to talk to him. You have to call him. You have to do it. Like, he was too much of a pussy to approach me himself because I'll blast him in the face and tell him fucking no. There ain't a goddamn thing he could do about it. But he knew by going after my friends. Now, my friend's wife, who was training with this guy, was very happy. Well, she was training with one of his trainers. He had a trainer working underneath him. And she was told flat out she would no longer train her anymore if, I didn't take the video down. And at first I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to let anybody dictate what I put up or how. It doesn't matter. And I thought about it for a few seconds, and I was like, you know what? My friends are more important to me. They really are. I'll get this guy later on, or he'll get his. Karma's a bitch, and I know it comes for everybody. So I stepped back, and I told Bob, I said, I'll take the video down, but I'm taking it down for you. I'm taking it down for you and your wife. I'm not taking it down for this guy. I don't give a fuck. I will get him at some point. Here we are right now with this video getting him. So anyways, that's what happened. Well, lo and behold, as time goes by, this guy becomes a total fucking douche, loses many of his clients. They all are in a fucking forum talking shit about him, trying to figure out how to fucking sue the guy because he fucked them up medically, health-wise, that they're fucked now. He's out there fucking partying, doing his thing. He's a cocky fuck, and more people, more and more, are not liking him and fucking walking away from him. Now, what are we talking about this guy for? Because here's an interesting thing. He used to talk about this. He'd put up pictures. This girl, no cardio. That girl, no cardio. This girl, 100 grams, 500 grams of carbs. This girl, 600 grams of carbs. And next thing you know, people are like, oh, I'm going to fucking hire him for that. So then I got a waiting list a fucking mile long, but somehow everybody used to get in and be trained by him. So I don't know how that fucking waiting list worked, but I think it's one of those magical, mystical, not there waiting lists that some of these guys have because they lie. And it just makes it seem more enticing to the person to be like, oh, I got to get in here because you're in a waiting list. And he basically, this is funny. So, of course I was like, what the fuck how are all these girls getting into shape if they're not doing any cardio and they're not fucking dieting hard? What the fuck? And he claims that they're all natural. Well, turns out someone I knew the client that he posted the picture of. And he claimed no cardio and all these carbs. And as it turns out, not only was the girl on drugs, she was using different andro creams and T3 thyroid, which makes you fucking lean, but she was doing 45 minutes of fasted cardio in the morning and another 45 at night sometimes, as well as eating low carbs. So essentially everything he said was false. It wasn't real. It was bullshit. He was doing exactly all the stuff he said you don't have to do with that client to get her to look like that, and said she was doing something else. So next thing you know, people want to hire him. There was another girl who, flat out had hired him, and next thing you know, she's like, he's telling me not to use drugs. So he wasn't pushing drugs on people. But he's like, well, your metabolism is just fucked, so we have to increase this. And he had her doing all these fucking supersets and prowler and all these fucking plyos that they consider not cardio, which technically raise your heart rate faster, but they are anaerobic. And they're reducing the calories. So technically you're cutting calories, increasing calorie output, a very basic concept. Not speeding metabolism up, you're essentially starving yourself. That's what you're doing. You're overputting energy and reducing calories. You're starving yourself. And eventually this girl's metabolism gets so fucked up, obviously, that because there's no afterwards. There's no aftercare. It's like after the show's over, unless you pay me for another fucking 2-3 months or whatever it is at a very expensive price, you're on your own. So that leaves these people to try to figure out how to reverse that themselves, but they usually fail. Which, not every trainer has to sit there and fucking give everybody everything for free. But a simple guideline about you need to be fucking careful. You need to reverse out of this. And whatever you did to get into it, you need to do to get out of it. So if it took you 12 weeks to diet down, you need 12 weeks to get out of this, the same thing on the back end. So you see, those trainers out there like this guy out in Canada, if he sees this, you can go fuck yourself. You better hope to fucking God I never run across you and recognize you, because I don't really know what you look like. I've seen pictures of you look like a fucking tool bag that could blend into any crowd in the fucking world. There's nothing special about you. There's nothing that stands out. And you better hope to fucking God that I never run into you. I swear to fucking God, man. People like him get a little worked up there. But people like him, they're out to screw people over. They're out for themselves. They don't give a fuck about anybody or anything. And as it's seen now, he cares about the money. That's what it's all about. It's about the money. It's not about any of the clients. It's not about the business. It's about the money. And people are starting to see it now. So be aware. There's a lot of scam artists out of there, a lot of shitty trainers, and this story came back, and the whole thing is coming back to bite him in the ass. But there's a saying, and I can't remember how it goes. I think I said it before, where every house of cards, which means it's a house made out of flimsy little bullshit, every house of cards falls eventually when the wind comes through. Okay? Which means if you built the house out of fucking brick, it ain't gonna fall. Sturdy, strong, real, tough. Flimsy little shit, stupid shit, falls down. Bios3training@gmail.com. I'm not really sure what that means. www.bios3training.com is a blog. And it's Mr. Canada Bicep, fucker, and we're out.